Hello, good day. Welcome to another newspaper review on Ninja Watch. It's a beautiful new week, and I'm sending so much sunshine your way. How are you doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my Ninja Watch family across the globe. Cheers to a new week, my people. To my panelists, the link has been posted on the comment section. I'd like for you to please click on the link and let's get talking. And to you watching, how are you doing? It's a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Please take out time to like this broadcast and also take out time to share. Invite someone onto the broadcast. Share the link. Do also like the broadcast. If you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please take out time to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, I mean, you know what to do. I beg you people try and support us and this week. Thank you very much. Thank you to each and every one of you that held it out with us all through last week. A big thank you to you. And also to Worthy of North, the states there's been an extension on both the money policy and also the PVC, even better. If you're amongst the millions of Nigerians that are yet to get their PVC, please hurry, jot down, and go get your PVC. Go get your PVC. It's very important for every Nigerian in Nigeria to get their PVC that are of age to get a PVC and to vote right come February 25th, which is just around the corner. So please go out there, get your PVC, do well to familiarize yourself with the logos and how best to go about it. All right. Thank you all so very much for being here. Mommy Diaspora, it's a brand new, better way. Thank you for being here. I'm sending so much love to you, Ma. Thank you for being here. Also, good morning to you too. How you doing? I hope it's a good day going for you. Thank you for being on here. A big shout out to each and every one of you on here. Thank you very much for being here. All right, we will go into the paper proper for today. Our first paper for today is going to be the Daily Sun. All right, on the Daily Sun, here we have Presidency NAS on collision costs over Constitution review. APC accuses PDP of plot to circulate fake news about Tinubu. 1.9 trillion naira back in banks as CBN extends old notes deadline. Enlist EFCC, ICPC to monitor banks. Reps insist Emefiele must appear before it. Violence may mar 2023 elections. Supreme Council for Sharia warns. Fear, anxiety as EFCC begins probe of varsity's finances. Brace up for severe flooding this year, NEMA warns Nigerians. Abia PDP zones vacant Guba seats to Isiala Ngwa North local government. I have no ends in Nasarawa killings, says Governor Otom. Black Sunday, 19 killed as container crushes commercial bus in Lagos. 11 burnt to death in Orebini Expressway accident. Gunmen kill 3 policemen, 2 soldiers in Ebonyi. The last story here says, I neither saw nor touched $1 billion security fund, ex-army chief Burata has collected there on the allegations that has been, rocking him for some time now, talking about the funds, the military funds for security that has been tied around him. He's saying he neither saw nor even touched it. Okay, so where all the security money can go? If you at the time was in charge and you are saying you neither saw nor even touched it, so does it mean that the project was approved, money was disbursed but did not sit in the account? I guess that's what Barata is trying to say to us. Also, here on the story, we have again a train in Abuja derailed days after the Wari Itakwe train service derailed at around Ajaokota Itakwe section of the track, leading to the suspension of the Nigeria Railway Corporation on Friday. Again, recorded another train derailment, this time along the Abuja Kaduna corridor. A source who is close to Saturday Sun said the train left Kaduna for Abuja and derailed at the Kupra axis a few minutes past 3 in the afternoon. The cause of the incident was yet uncertain at the time of filing the report. According to sources, there were no casualties. The Abuja Kaduna train was suspended in March 2022 after terrorists. I mean, this looks like a warning whatsoever. This looks like a warning, and people get mad. People are still entering using that train. That same. Okay. It's happening again, but there are no casualties, none recorded this time. As it happened in the Warri Itakwe, people were rescued and there were no casualties. Saying that again. All right, another story we have on here says Sanwo-Olu signs the, if you're interested in that story, signs 1.76 trillion naira budget into law. And if we are following the story on Oyetola and Adeleke, so the court has sacked Adeleke as the governor, as the sitting governor, and as installed what's his name, Oyetola again. And Adeleke is telling the people, don't worry, we are fighting for the mandate of the people and that we would see this through. Adeleke has gone on to take the judgment to appeal to the appeal court. Let's see, if this is how we'll keep dancing. Let's see if history is about to repeat itself. And will Adeleke, let this go in good faith as he did the last time, or he is going to fight this bloody? He's going to keep fighting this until he fights it until half of his tenure. But we need to put a stop to this craze. So of what use is it spending all that money, allowing INEC to prepare for elections, if at the end of the day we are all going to be sleeping in court? Then we should as well just start going to the courts to do this. Because it makes no sense that we don't trust the judgment of INEC anymore. So INEC, what is overvoting? How are we getting there? Do you people need to sit up and okay, let's see what other story we have here. INEC fixes mock voter accreditation for 4th of February. 4th of February, there's going to be a mock accreditation for voters on the 4th of February against the general elections, which is to kick off come 25th of February. We'll move on to another story. On here, we have Vanguard. All right, on Vanguard, the stories we have on here today. Please excuse me. Yes, all papers are reporting this. Black Sunday. Oh, we didn't take that story there. 20 killed in Lagos, also in Lagos. And then Ondo auto crashes, petrol scarcity, NMDPRA blames smugglers. On Naira notes, Buhari reps heading for clash over 10-day extension. Lawmaker says law must be duly followed. Describe extension as mere political gimmick. Minority caucus hails Apex Bank over deadline extension. All old notes to be deposited in CBN by Friday 17th. EFCC, ICPC operatives deployed in banks. Banks continue to dispense old notes, limit ATM withdrawal of new notes, while we are still dispensing old notes, says banker. Frustrated customers besiege banks, threaten showdown. Different strokes for POS operators, widespread rejection of old notes. Oshungov poll, I will protect your mandate, Adeleke tells protesters. Buhari's visit, Ganduje makes U-turn, says Kano ready to host president. On sports, Ian Achilles first class. I sure do not know what that means. Okay, and we'll take the Mr. and Mrs. Much later. Talking about the Black Sunday in Lagos and also in another outside Lagos, where it is recorded that okay, let's take the Lagos story first. The numbers are quite different. We are not having the same numbers on all papers, but yesterday, a tank, not a trailer, a container fell on the mini bus. and killed all occupants. No, killed not all occupants. It was said that a few persons were able to escape, but it's recorded in some papers that about 10 people. Another paper says 19 persons. So we have this unconfirmed number of persons that was killed. But I tell you, the bus was smashed. The bus was smashed. I think there's a picture story in that in one of the papers coming up. The bus was, it was smashed, and we keep talking about this trailer. Something just needs to be done. They need to be intentional about doing something about this truck people. They need to be hinged. They need to be secured. No truck should be allowed to leave the depot, should be allowed to leave the warehouse. We should have anyone that is in trucking business should be held accountable. Don't take truck that is not well protected out. There's a bit of common sense that should just be applied to this. You see a 20-footer carrying 40-footer. Okay, you say that's unrealistic, right? I say that's unrealistic. Things they occur and we dey see things. How many ask just go and ask people who drive through trucks like this or containers. People are praying and passing. If there's no space, they just wait. If they're not going to speed up because things are happening. We see things every day. It feels like magic. People legit pray as they are, going to go through that, go through, drive through a truck, a trailer, and people are still dying from this. It's really sad. The government said, okay, you guys should only move at night. Even the moving at night, people were still dying. Then that was overturned, and people were moving freely. They said don't move on, don't stay on the left side anymore, so that when you want to turn, that's what is making them fall over the bridge. This same Ojuelegba, that's what is making them okay. Start staying at the right. Now they are staying at the right side of the lane and they are falling on vehicles on the bridge and not falling over the bridge again. Anywhere where they keep them, they are still falling. So I mean, let's go back to basics here. If they try to put a timing to this and it didn't work, they've tried to pick a lane for this and it didn't work, then they should fix the road and make sure that appropriate truck is carrying the appropriate container. Not container that you will see and you will see the back is all no, 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 no. It happens. It happens. It's not even gimmick, and this is a sad loss on a Sunday. Indeed, it was Black Sunday for some people. It really was a sad loss. It really was a sad loss. All right, talking about this new naira, they say Emefiele went to meet Buhari to have a discussion, and after that meeting, Emefiele came out and said that there's an extension by 10 days for those that's for the Nigerians, the civilians that are crying, oh, we don't have bank accounts. How do we do this? We don't have the money and all of that. Well, you have just 10 days to go open an account. You have just 10 days to go open an account and do the needful. All right, here we have the president Muhammadu Buhari and the House of Representatives are on collision course over the deadline for the withdrawal of old naira notes. The CBN had before now given January 31 deadline for the exchange of old naira notes of 200, 500, and 1,000 naira respectively with the new ones. But the president yesterday, on the request of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, approved a 10-day extension of the deadline for the withdrawal of old naira notes to February 10th, 2023, a 7-day grace period beginning on February 10th to February 17, 2023 was also approved to enable Nigerians deposit their old notes at the CBN after the February deadline when the old currency would cease to be recognized as legal tender. But the House of Representatives, in a swift reaction yesterday, rejected rejected the extension, insisting that the CBN complied with its resolution that the deadline be extended by 6 months. The 10 days extension of the deadline was given by the president after meeting with the Apex Bank's governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, in Buhari's country home in Daura, Katsina State on Sunday. The president consented to Emefiele's request, urging more time, discretion, and order to enable Nigerians successfully change their currencies to the redesigned note and reduce the risk of loss, especially among the underserved in rural areas. Emefiele briefed correspondents after the meeting, revealing that 75% of the 2.7 trillion naira held outside the banking system had been recovered. That is about 1.29 trillion naira. He said has been recovered, but they're expecting about 900 billion naira back into the coffers. And he said that that has helped to that has helped to reduce inflation, albeit little, but it has helped to boost, our economy also. Okay, he has been recovered with evident drop in the rate of inflation. Hmm. This evident drop in the rate of inflation. Okay, more stability of foreign exchange rates and noticeable impact on security, especially in banditry and kidnapping figures. Okay, so Emefiele is saying that everything that was proposed, that was intended to happen for the sake of this new redesign has been met. 75% is such a huge deal in such a short period of time. So kudos to the CBN governor for this. And the president also for this monetary policy that's that the entire lawmakers are having a problem with. 75% is such a huge number, and they've also said that there's been a drop in kidnapping. Yes, because everybody wants the new naira. So, and there's no new naira anywhere. I mean, they even know that even the civilians do not even have the new naira. So where do you want them? So unless you want to be kidnapping people and be killing them, then that's another problem. That's a problem for another day, I guess. But if your sole aim is for money, you want to be kidnapping people because just because you want money, okay, there's no money. So that's already a failed business. Okay, Emefiele's policy and Buhari's policy is making plenty of sense. I challenge them to ask other Nigerians to please take it easy. No, I mean now all of us they feel our own. Now all of us, now all of us they feel. Now all of us truly, truly, truly they feel this money policy. So I guess we all have a price to pay, but there are some people that is feeling this much more than us. But even better, regardless of who is feeling it, who is not feeling it, the outcome is something that would favor Nigeria. So please let us all, endure and join hands in rebuilding our economy as CBN seems to be marking such the good scores, good success story on this so far. All right, let's go on to another. Let's go on to another story on here. Okay, so see, every day they blame scarcity on every other thing, but the fact that NNPCL does not even have products. If man will come and say this, NNPDR will come and say it. But at the end of the day, they blame smugglers, and I saw it's even smugglers. Another thing I've noticed is you see the four stations now when they eventually open at wee hours or whenever they want to open, they give calls to like these black marketers to come and purchase first. They give you because of course you get to sort them, you get to pay per container, or you get to pay their default attendants for that. So they give room to these people. Or even, I mean, if you are buying a large list, they get your number down. When they're about to open, they begin to make these calls and they sell for them, and after selling for them, they are open to other people, knowing that it is just for a short period of time. And when they are open to other people, before you get there, they're probably close, and then you start selling. And now people are making as much as 200, 300 naira per liter, because there are some that are selling for 185. Not actually some selling for 185. Why you have some selling, that's four stations. Why you have some selling for 250. And then you have black market selling for 450, 400. Well, this amongst other things that NMDPRA are talking about, saying that they are blaming smugglers. Well, not just smugglers are to be blamed in this regard, but they are blaming of their but they're blaming what are they called again, smugglers. They're also saying that these are part of the problems, these black marketers, but these fuel attendants, Nko, they are also part of the problem. The owners of the fueling stations are also part of the problem because they want to make much, 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 much money. And then the black marketers, when they buy for 185, they sell for I was shocked. No, this one actually stumbled. And this lady I buy black market from, she usually will say, "Why I buy for 290, I buy for 330. What will I do? I'm suffering." And the day I got to know, you're buying for 185 and you're using all the elements to swear. Of course, it will catch you. My dear, it will catch you. Don't worry. Don't worry. It will come to you. It will come there. I accustomed one the other day and I said, but when I dey buy for 185, which one be all this? This at the end of the day, say, madam, we don't see business now. Let's just keep managing ourselves. You see how we are doing ourselves? Let's keep managing ourselves. I mean, what else are we going to say? We don't have a choice. We have to buy. But surprisingly, when the president was in the country, I was in Lagos, the four stations were open and they were selling. I mean, of course, this helped to curtail traffic. All right. Okay, so Nigerian Medical Association has said that in 2022, 2,000 doctors exited exited Nigeria, and that report is not. Well, that's from NAD, that's National Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors. Well, I don't know how correct that was because we were getting back-to-back fillers of how in just November alone, in just August alone, 1,000 days, 2,000 days, 3,000 days, has left the country. So in 2020, I say, oh, we are looking at thousands of doctors that has left, and they are saying that we should take it seriously. This exodus of doctors should be taken seriously. It should be seen as an emergency because in Nigeria, we are waking up to a time where we wake up and we would not have any doctor at all in the country as these people are moving on for looking out for greener pastures outside the shores of Nigeria. And everybody is quiet. People are quiet. Nobody's saying nothing about it. And they've been talking. Oh, I'm sure even the president of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Uche Ojima, he has been saying it. He has been saying it. I'm sure one day this man is going to be giving us this review from his own abroad to when he has also relocated because he cannot afford to be the only doctor. He cannot afford to be the only doctor left in this Nigeria. Ha, this is not funny. Let's all not start going to Benin Republic just to go and see doctor. We'll start going to Togo. We'll start going to Ghana just to have a doctor appointment. Oh, let's also do also remember that earlier on this year, the Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said that the federal government are looking at employing doctors, Nigerian doctors abroad and bringing them back home. Yeah. Yes, that was in the papers. So is that's the way the government wants to go about this. Instead of them to see to read that the ones that are here are well to do and to put incentives in place that the ones out there that are struggling because it is not even easy for these ones. A lot of people who are moving, who are doing this relocation thing are, you know, it's not any easy on them. They would rather be back home if a bit, there's even a bit of adjustment down here. There's a glimpse of light down here. And instead of that to be implemented, you people want to completely forsaking the ones you have here to begin to employ the ones that have left the shores of Nigeria, bring them back here. All right, let's take the story from on this. On this year's World Leprosy Day, President of the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA), Dr. Uche Ojima, has stressed the need for Nigeria to act now and end leprosy. Ojima, who commended efforts made at controlling and eliminating the disease, called for more concerted efforts to meet the target of zero leprosy in 120 countries by 2030, in line with the Sustainable Development Goal (SDG) target. In a statement signed by the NMA National Committee Chairman on Neglected Tropical Diseases, NTD, Dr. Sebastian Oiwo, Ojiman noted that timely prevention or early diagnosis from the time patient has that painless skin discoloration will help prevent the disability that later occurs. Leprosy is an ancient, stigmatizing, infectious, neglected tropical disease of man caused by Mycobacterium leprae. Currently, Nigeria has an annual new case detection of 4,000 people, a grade 2 disability rate of 1%, and nearly 10% children 10% child ratio among new cases, and remains a disease of public health importance in Nigeria. This caused a 30% drop below the 200,000 people annually diagnosed with leprosy before COVID-19, according to the World Health Organization. Okay, is saying that we should move to end leprosy now before it breaks out, before it breaks out. And these are the early signs that he has also that has been noted. Early sign of painless discoloration. So, leprosy is breaking out in a time where we are also experiencing brain drain. And NMA, Nigerian Medical Association, are crying out to the federal government that let's move swiftly, as this is not this leprosy. Okay, and I hope that the federal government are ready to work, are ready to work with NMA to see a stop, to this. Let's speak other story on here. Yes, two Nigerians were arrested. Two Nigerians were arrested, and okay, one has been arrested, the other one is wanted in Canada over 500K airline ticket fraud. Canadian police have arrested one Nigerian and declared the other wanted for having fraudulently issued and sold 250 airline tickets to unsuspecting customers valued at $500,000. According to Canadian police, between June and December 2021, the suspects claimed they were working for travel agencies based out of the United Kingdom and accessed a secure online booking portal for a major European airlines. It is alleged that these two individuals, Gbemisola Akinriade and Adebowale Adatu, fraudulently sold valid flight ticket to unsuspecting customers and collected the payment to benefit themselves financially. Police said in release. Police said the majority of those who bought the fraudulent tickets were from the Calgary area and the flights were mainly to Africa. City News reported that the police arrested Adebo Wale Adetu, a 32-year-old man from Vrangan, and charged him with fraud over $5,000, conspiracy to commit an indictable offense, and possession of property obtained by crime. An arrest warrant has been issued for Gbemisola Akiriade, a 44-year-old woman from Brampton. She is wanted for obtaining by false pretense, unlawful use of a computer, fraud over $5,000, possession of property obtained by crime, conspiracy to commit an indictable offense, and fraud under $5,000. In a nutshell, they got a website and they were selling tickets fraudulently to people and made sales of over 500,000 US dollars. Oh dear. Mm, my people. All right, please do also like this broadcast as you follow on. Thank you, Mommy Diaspora. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a good thing. Thank you, Joris Odion. Thank you for being here. It's good to have you on here. Thank you for being here. All right, we would move on. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we have on here that we are yet to take. I think we've taken all the stories here so far. So we'll move on to another story. All right. Let's see what the Daily Trust has for us today. On Daily Trust, we have 20 killed in Lagos. Ondo Road crashes. Give us two bikes. Full staff kidnappers of Kaduna villagers tells relatives. After controversy, Buhari visits Kano to commission 8 projects. Federal government under pressure to probe Elders killings in Nasarawa. Mark Ban says it's a war crime, blames Otom. NBA, NHRC seek compensation for victims' families. My ends are clean, Benue governor. ACF and CM demand investigation. Brain drain. Nigeria may end up without doctors, and that's from Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors. Plateau Governorship Peace Pact. CP storms out of venue. Federal government cautions against phone applications, pledges data privacy. Some of the anti-bomb gadgets deployed nationwide by the Nigerian police force in Ikeja, Lagos, ahead of the 2023 general elections yesterday. That's the picture story on there that is being vetted by the customs, the military. On here, we have mixed reaction as CBN extends Naira deadline to February 17. 1.9 trillion Naira mopped up. Reps reject extension, vow to sign arrest warrant against Emefiele. The reps are, there is no turning back on their on their zeal to arrest Emefiele. They are not buying the surely not buying this extension. They want it extended for 6 months. They want it far extended for 6 months. But let's see if Emefiele is going to bow to pressure again, or if the president is going to bow to pressure again, or this is going to be it, because I don't know, there's something about deadline that just does not work in Nigeria. But we are grateful for deadlines that does not work. Deadlines like the PVC, for one, we are grateful for that one. So if you are here to get your PVC, there's been an extension. Please, Ori, go get your PVC. Thank you very much. Now, talking about the killings that happened in Nasarawa, the federal government was on Sunday urged to investigate the killings of about 40 elders in an airstrike believed to have been carried out by the military at Rukubi village in Doma local government area of Nasarawa state last week. Sources had told Daily Trust that the incident happened when the elders were returning from Makodi, Benue state capital, where they had gone to retrieve over 1,000 cows seized by the Benue livestock guards. The incident sparked outrage, but military authorities have remained silent on it. The Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, on Sunday demanded an explanation for the killings, which it described as intentional. So let me understand this. Because these are herders, or because there are cows involved, and that's why they want the president, they want everybody to have it signed, to have it probed. We've been talking about airstrikes. I mean, the other time we had Lai Mohammed coming to say, well, in combating insecurity like this, in terrorism, casualties like this happen. When we're talking about 70 people that was killed, and no Nathan leader came out to say this must be investigated, blah, 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 blah. And now because it has to do with herders and some cows, if people want to bring down Nigeria, all right. Also, in a statement by spokesperson Muhammad Nura Abdullahi, Magban condemned the silence of the federal government and the military on the incident. It explained that the trucks carrying the livestock were closely monitored until they reached their destination before an armed drone was unleashed on the pastoralists. McBand described the silence as reprehensible and lack of regard for the loss of lives of ordinary Nigerians who are victims of the high-handedness of the Benue state government and the officers of the Makodi-based operation while stroke who deployed an aircraft/drone. The pastoralists went to Makodi earlier in the day to retrieve their 1,250. The elders we went to Makodi earlier in the day to retrieve. I don't know what they mean by retrieve. It was seized. Were they given, when they say retrieve, did they go to take it themselves? And if Benue State, Makodi had released this, so why do they now think that it is coming back from them if it was released to them? Because it is not saying release here. It is saying they went to retrieve. They went to they went to retrieve. Okay. Okay, so the elders went to Makodi earlier in the day to retrieve their 1,250 livestock earlier impounded by the Benue State Livestock Guards after paying a fine of 29 million. Ah, I beg, who kill these people and their livestock? Oh? No, okay, no. Who kill these people and their livestock? Now, wow, ransom on everything. So for 1,250 livestock, they had to pay a fine of 29 million naira. Okay, it says, if nothing, we expect the president to commiserate with the families of the victims of this heinous crime. McVan recalls this is the third time in 1 year that the Nigerian Air Force was involved in the bombing of herders and their livestock in Nasara, Benue, and Taraba states. The recent killings constitute a war crime, and a panel of inquiry must be constituted to find out on whose authority the drone aircraft was used and punish the culprits. Okay, just join the queue. Just join the queue. We are still looking for the NSAS massacre. So join the queue. Nobody has given an order now. So join the queue. They have to, it's lining up. It's lining up. The military are yet to answer, who came to impersonate them by wearing their uniform and carried out such crime. I mean, such atrocity on our people. I mean, we are still here to get that one. So please just join the queue. Just yes. And of course, every loss, we've taken the story on the national loss. And of course, over here, we've sent condolences to the people, even the governor that lost the son, the actors, the following day after this incident had happened. It's indeed quite a loss, but it's a lot. Okay, they are still going on to say that these elders are bona fide Nigerians. These are not, it's not a function of them being Fulani or Niger Republic people. They say they are bona fide Nigerians and have rights like every other citizen and therefore must be protected under the law. I beg no verse, other Nigerians, are they protected? Why are you people sounding like, yes, why are you people sounding like we are having one treatment that you people are not? I mean, if you people are saying you want inquiry, you want compensation for what happened to your livestock and the people, you trust the president. The president no kukuma they use on a play. He does not play with you people and your livestock. He can afford to play with people like us, but you people he does not play with. So just chill. You get an answer to that. But somebody once said that if you cannot make peace with all your enemies, don't create new ones. I think that's the part that we should be on. Every governor, every leader, every Nigerian, every civilian, we should be looking for how to live in peace every day with each other. Not be this one we're supposed to do at all. Governor Tom has come out to say, oh wait, there's there's a stunt that was sorry, there's a yes, that was a stinker was sent to the president. Okay, he goes on to say, that's the Mieti Allah president, goes on to say, we find it shameful that while people were being killed, the president was enjoying a state dinner in Katsina State. We also call on the National Human Rights Commission to investigate this case and other cases involving shootings by the Air Force in Nasarawa, the statements read. They say they find it shameful. Well, I'm not sure if my own word is shameful, but I remember when the president went to Kogi State, and I said there was a bomb blast at the Monarch's Palace. There was a bomb blast there. The president went to inaugurate the new palace amongst all the projects, but he went to also inaugurate a new palace. There was a bomb blast there at 8, And but as at 10, the president went on ahead to inaugurate, and he acted like nothing happened. And he still went on to give kudos to Yaya Bello for a job well done and for maintaining peace. So sometimes it looks like the president is not in touch with what is happening at all. And like I just said earlier on, when the president was around, well, in my vicinity, the four stations were open, there were no queue, the road was free. Oh dear. Hmm. All right, so that's the story on why the Mieti Allah are putting pressure on the federal government to probe the herders that were killed in Nasarawa State and the circumstances surrounding it. Not just herders; these are herders that are just going to retrieve their cattle, numbered 1,250, after paying a ransom of 29 million naira to the Benue State Livestock Guard. Okay, let us go on with the other story. On brain drain, it says that Nigeria may end up without doctors. That is not a sweet story at all. That's a terrifying story. That's a terrifying story, I dare to say. A really, really terrifying story. All right, we'll move on to other stories. It says here that Edo State confirms 115 Lassa fever cases as death rise to 15. Please let us be out there. You see, now we are talking about Lassa fever. We are talking about the other one. There's an outbreak of leprosy, and there's still COVID-19. There is diphtheria. There's diphtheria, the cancer disease of the throat, and that is also killing people in numbers. Vastly in Kano State, where there was that's like the mother state for that, where that's where we have the breakout in Nigeria, which has also gone on to other states now. There's all of that, and the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors are crying out that we are soon to end up with no doctors in Nigeria, and we have all of these things coming up. I don't know if if we have to protest for if we have to protest for everything, is that how the government to get the government's attention? Every time there is something happening out there, we have to go out there and protest. We not want to start protesting that, save our, keep our doctors or take care of our doctors. We they protest for fuel, we they protest for this, we they protest for that. We go protest for this one too. Our leaders, they know they read news, they know they see what's in they happen. All right, and in other news, Okorocha launches project to return 1 million children to school. So Okorocha, the last time we heard of Okorocha was that dramatic moment where he was singing, he and his family were singing and calling of the God that that God that they say what God cannot do does not exist, and they were really praying when EFCC were trying to invade his home like criminals. Anyways, are we going to say like criminals or because Okorocha no agreement the entire house? And now in the news, we are seeing Okorocha wanting to take 1 million people back to school. All right, this country, man, this country. Okay, let's see what other. Haha. Yes, there are two stories here that has come up very funny. One would be drama as cops misses at OOUCH mortuary. A corpse has reportedly missed as at the mortuary of the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, Shagamu, Ogun State, throwing the family members who had prepared for burial into disbelief. It was gathered that the family members had on Friday visited the hospital to retrieve corpse of a woman deposited at the facility over 4 months ago ahead of the final burial. The relatives went from Ijebu-Ode axis to Shagamu with an ambulance and undertakers to retrieve the corpse, only to find out that the remains were missing. The chief medical director, Dr. Oluwabumi Fatuga, said in a statement, blamed the incident on mix-up of corpse in the hospital. The CMD said it was an unprecedented case in the hospital's mortuary. She said the hospital management was working in collaboration with necessary agents and individuals to unravel the circumstances behind the mix-up. She said footages from the closed-circuit television, that CCTV camera, was being evaluated. The statements read, any circumvention of the quality assurance of the hospital will not be taken lightly, and necessary consequences in consonance with the public service rules will be applied on whoever is found culpable. The present administration in Ogun State has upgraded the mortuary with modern freezers and scaled up its amenities. The mortuary services of the hospital has been a preferred place for many people to keep the remains of their beloved intact until they are ready. While apologizing to the affected family for the embarrassing situation, the CMD sought their cooperation for the ongoing investigation. She assured that the corpse would be identified and released to them for the burial. So they don't. So what's going to happen to the burial now? So they went out to tell people that they did not see the corpse or what? What did they say to the people? Hey, hey. So somebody has planned burial somewhere. They are everything for burial ready. They carried coffin. Abi it's coffin they call it. They carried coffin, carried undertakers, carried everything. They went to mortuary that they should, go and get the body out of the freezer, put it in the coffin, and they go, do give the person the final wrap. Only to come here and say, dey there, and they are saying we will get back to you. Are they getting back to them with all expense paid? Or it is, I am sorry about this, and all right, that's the story, and I'm talking about cops. So a story, still of this of a woman with her three children that sells amala, one of the hottest amala joints, as it is said or known. Somebody, a visitor, was in the vicinity. She was taken to that spot to go, enjoy a good place. There's just something about when you have a good spot for amala. Anytime you have a visitor, you just always just want to shop, especially if it is good. I remember a friend came all the way to my place, and so she stays in Aja. No, she stays in Aja. Yeah, she stays in Aja. Is it Aja? No, Ikorodu. She stays in Ikorodu. She goes all the way to Ogba to eat amala. Okay, anyways. No way. So she, took a friend to this place to go eat this wonderful amala. And when she got to, she's like, "What? These people are dead. Like this woman and her three children are dead. They were my former neighbors, and I'm sure they are dead." And immediately they were recognized and spotted. They said this place just dried up, and that the amalas, the woman and her children, they just disappeared, and the place just became deserted. That you would think nobody has ever been there, or in a very long time there's been no occupants, or yes, it has not been occupied by anyone or been in use by anyone. Even if I have had to eat from a ghost house or from, I never want to know. I never, never, ever, ever want to know. What? Nah, nah. I beg. The first thing I went to do was to check the address of the place. I never want to know, please. I just want to check because looking at the states where it happened, I'm like, okay, that's why I just want to know. I just want to know the place that it happened. I never want to know. That's quite the story. That's quite the story out there. But I don't know. Do people believe in things like this? Do you believe in things like this? Someone is dead somewhere and they come back to life somewhere else, and they're alive somewhere else with a family. And it is always said that once they are caught, they disappear and they just walk out, from that. All right, let's move on to one more paper, and that is the Punch. Let's be sure we've taken all the stories on here. Okay, this story on the kidnappers. So now they are not requesting for money. They are now requesting for bikes, food stuff, things that they would have used the money to buy. Well, aside from weapons, they will not be asking for weapons, but that's just my be the case now. Since you can swipe your card, they'll probably be asking for 10 dozens of cutlass or something. And I hope not. I probably should not say this. All right, we'll move on to another paper. But if you are here to like this broadcast, please take out time to like the broadcast. Yes, please do also like the broadcast, and also take out time to show some love by supporting us, clicking on the dollar sign to the right on the comment section. And also, if you are yet to get your PVC, do well to note that there's been an extension for PVC collection. So please just Usain boat yourself to your ward, to INEC office, and get your PVC. See to read that people around you have their PVC. Encourage them to go get their PVC. All right, let's move on to our last paper for the day, which is the Punch. Government appointments loop-sided, lack of merit, says Obasanjo. Court delivers judgment seeking 2023 polls cancellation. Ekweremadu in court Tuesday after 223-day detention. My support was for Osibanjo, not Tinubu. Najatu Mohammed. On the new era, anger spreads over scarcity. Reps oppose CBN extension. Customers stranded. ATMs empty as worshippers dump old notes in churches. CBN deploys 30,000 super agents nationwide to boost cash swap program. Emefiele says 1.9 trillion naira old notes deposited. Project 900 billion naira before deadline. The picture story is the container that fell on a bus, on a mini bus. Ah, that's a terrible story, I tell you. 11 killed in Ondo crash. Lagos container crushes 9. UN projects 3% growth for Nigeria. 2 Nigerians arrested for $500,000 fraud in Canada. Jackpot 2,000 doctors dumped to Nigeria in 2022, says Nigeria Association of Retired Doctors. Okay, 11 killed in Ondo State. This story records that there was a crash. This bus was using the bus was the tanker was used one way. It was a case of one way. It was a case of one way and over speeding that brought about that crash. And uh, all occupants were burned to death. And it was said that it was passerby, people that were trying to come see what was causing the traffic to help move the traffic. They were the ones that were, that even helped to put the fire out. But before, all of that happened, it had spread, it had burnt everyone, the vehicle, all the way down. And oh dear, just it really was a black Sunday. It really was a black Sunday. Condolences to the families. And the Lagos crash had about 2 children in it. And Sundays are family outing days. They're not like weekdays that children are in school, you are running to get your. At Sundays are days people are going to church, families are coming back from church, going to visit somebody. So it's the stories, all this bloodshed. Hmm. All right, so Najatu Mohammed, we know the lady that stepped down. Najatu Mohammed, she's a politician and a renowned activist who recently resigned as a director in the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council. She speaks with Darisu Yakubu on dumping the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and why the Tinubu Shetima ticket is a disaster waiting to happen, among others. When she was asked at what point did it occur to her to part ways with the APC presidential candidate, um, she says, let me tell you what really happened. In the first place, I did not support Tinubu. My support was for Professor Yemi Osibanjo from day one. In fact, I had sent emissaries to Osinbajo to come out and contest that he is relatively young, well-educated, proactive, and brilliant. This we know. Uh, this we know. This we know. This we know. Professor Yemi Osibanjo. This we know. Okay, she says we notice that each time Buhari leaves the country, we regain some semblance of sanity, including the value of the naira. So she said, when Tinubu emerged, he emerged in the most corrupt way. I knew how delegates were given money to go and vote, but it was not just to go and vote. The name Asiwaju was written on each ballot paper. They were only paid to go and drop it in the box. For that reason alone, I had no interest in that primary election. Yes, I was in the APC, but I couldn't even liberate myself at that point in time. I waited, but I never attended any of the meetings and I was not interested in anything. All right. Okay. Okay, she has come out to say why she, why she's not voting for, or why she has had to step down from, from that board as part of the campaign director. She had to step down. She has given a reason for doing that. Court delivers judgment seeking 23 polls cancellation. That story is on there. We've taken the story of the 500,000 people, 500,000 naira. No, not naira, $500,000 are the people that are involved in the scam. And I hope that, the need there, of course, we trust the Canadian government to do the needful. Ekweremadu will be stepping out of the prison, will be stepping out of cell. We'll be seeing light as he has court hearing tomorrow. Let's see how far the Security Madu's case is still playing out. All right, that is as much as we have on our newspaper review. Thank you very much for holding it down with me today. I look forward to having a swell time with you tomorrow. Please do well to join us on all of our other programs. Good morning to you, Willie. Thank you for being here. Do well to join us on all of our other lineups. Yes, please. And do well to like this broadcast just before you exit the broadcast. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.